Welcome in to the Moving to Norfolk Hampton Roads February 2024 market update. We're going to break down so much information in this video where I'm going to start with the stats, where I'm going to break down exactly what the marketplace has shown in the last month that I think was a very busy time for the marketplace in February, where we may be now starting to see a little softening in March for a big spring forward in the few coming months coming up, which I like to call PCS season in the Hampton Roads marketplace. So we're going to break all that down for you and more. If you have not yet met me before, my name is Craig Houston. I am the host of the Moving to Norfolk team. And in this channel, I love to always talk about all things Hampton Roads, and you want to be locked in with us. If you're not locked in with us and you looking to be making that move to Hampton Roads, or you're looking to sell a home in Hampton Roads, this is the place for you right here. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and ring that notification bell so that way you can always be notified each and every time we upload more new content like this. So let's just talk about what we've seen in the marketplace as of recently in our experience with what we've been seeing since February 2024 has come and gone. Can you believe that it's already March 4th as I'm recording this video today? Realistically, what we've seen in the marketplace is we're going to show you in detail as well that certain price points are still seeing so much demand. And I think that we need to kind of contribute that trigger to interest rates. We saw a very ebbs and flows of interest rate playing a factor in the marketplace in the month of February, in my experience from what I've seen. Now, we've seen where the interest rate somewhat tailored down for certain clients down to 5.9%, and we've seen some getting homes at 7.2%, 7%, and alike in between. Now, the real thing about this is that we thought that there was a lot of movement, a lot of momentum, a lot of happiness in the marketplace that spring forward when we heard that the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell come out and say that there may be some tapering that may happen with interest rates on the federal fund rate side of the house. But as we started to see that inflation was still coming up a little bit higher than expected with the new CPI data report that came out not too long ago, that has now stalled out of the marketplace a bit, where now we're starting to see that tapering may happen a little bit later in 2024 than right now. So how do you combat this in this marketplace right now? Well, interest rate buy downs are still a thing. I still believe if you can find the right home for the right price and maybe even get some seller concessions, you may still be able to go ahead and kind of foster out a bit here. Essentially interest rate buy downs where you can get you a 2-for-1 buy down, where maybe if the interest rates are around 6.8, 7%, you may be able to get the two and one buy down, where you may be able to get 2 points off the interest rates at the 5 point whatever percentage. And then if the next year you may go up to 6%, but then by that time frame, the logic and the methodical thought process behind it is that you should be able to refinance for a lower rate than you already currently had at the 7%, 6%, whatever the rate may be. And that can get you to that factor where you want to be in. So we'll see. We'll see how that continues to play out. But I really want to dive into the actually what's going on in the marketplace a bit here and let you know what we have going on. So let's look at it in detail just a bit and talk about it here. I'm sharing my screen with you. So let's go ahead and check out what we have here. So in February of 2024, you'll see that the median sales price currently is $323,000 for the median sales price, which is up about 1.7% month over month and up 4.2% year over year. Okay, where last year this time frame we was a little bit down here at the price of $310,000 around this time frame for the same median sales price. So a nice increase that we see, and this is what I like to talk to home buyers about. Okay, when buyers are in the market, I always like to let them know, look, you always thinking about what could you get a good fair value of return on your money from. And if you're looking at it year over year, you're getting these gains that you cannot really get with a savings account. You can get them in some high yield interest market accounts as well too. But for the most part, month over month, you can possibly be seeing a nice slow progression of interest coming back to you in equity over time. And this is like why I call real estate one of the better storage of value in our marketplace today. So that is a great intricate detail to kind of see that's paying out over here right now. Now, when it comes to settled sales, the transactions that we've seen from January to February, we've seen about 15.6% increase to 1,721 sales in the month of February, which in January we was at only 1,489. So all that pent up demand that we saw heading into December and waiting until after the holidays to actually go out and buy homes, we've seen that go the way that we thought it was. Well, pending sales spiked in January, and now we've seen those actually close in February. Now, I think my projection for March is that we'll still be around by this number here or slightly less. Comment down below. What do you think? Do you think that in Hampton Roads that we will see more homes sold in March, or will we see less homes sold in March in comparison to February 2024? I look forward to reading your comments down below. So now you talk about that going back to February 2023, the same time last year, you'll see that we're still down about 4.9%, almost 5% here, while we sold over 1,800 homes last year in February. Okay. So now when you talk about median days on market, I think median days on market is not a great statistic. I actually like average days on market. And the reason why is because that gives you a whole better synopsis of what's really going on in the marketplace. Now, I understand why they use median days on market, which in this case is about 18 days, which is a decrease about 28% in comparison to January, where we came off 25 median days to 18 median days, and still up 9.1% from February 2023. The reason why they use the median days on market because the averages will throw off so much in the marketplace. But when I'm sitting down and I'm talking to a seller, and we're talking about what is our game plan for when we actually put your home on the market, and we started to see that the marketplace is dictating that, you know, what we're demanding for your home is not what the marketplace is demanding in return. Well, we need to kind of understand where our reduction may come into place or our price improvement may come into place at where the average days on market is a better indicator of your peer group, or if your comps in that area have sold at certain levels of time, you can kind of gauge where your pricing is going to be at a certain particular time. So this is why I like to compare with sellers average days on market versus median days on market. Okay. Now, the average percentage list price received in February was 99.6, which is about a 0.3% discount here versus what we saw last year and the month before. Now, here's what I will say about average list price received. I think this is so indicative of particular price points that this could actually be a little miscued a little bit here, right? Now, this is taking into account the whole marketplace. But when we actually go back into the details here, when you start to see what the average price of an average home that is sold, it would be in what price point, you will see where, you know, the lower price points made up a lot of this. And I would believe that the average percentage list price received is from the higher price points being a little bit of a price reduction for actual whatever the case may be, whether that's you know, seller concessions, whether that's because it was just overpriced, whatever the case may be, we will start to see these numbers matriculate a little bit out in detail here as well too. Now, the median sold square per square foot has actually went up by 2.6% to $197, which is up 7.1% over the median price as well from 2023, from $184 to $197 in February. Now, we're starting to trend towards what I like to say is that California number, where in median sales price in Southern California is always in the 200 to 300 per square foot. I think we're starting to see that trend head here, right here in Virginia as well too. So I always get the comparison, like, why is I'm coming to Virginia and it's almost feel like I'm still paying California prices for everything? Because I believe that, you know, cost of living has finally caught up to what people have thought was a great marketplace to be in for value. And now you're still getting the value, but the marketplace is starting to demand that in other areas. And now we're starting to see that median square foot actually increase as well too, which I believe that this is where the sellers are going to start seeing their benefit come into play from being homeowners for 3 to 7, 10, 15 years or so, and going up in price or wanting to upgrade or downsize where they can get more market value for their home at a higher square footage than when they originally purchased those homes. Okay. So that is interesting here. Okay. Now, new listings that came into the marketplace is up 3.2%. We had over 2,600 new listings come into the marketplace, and we still seen a decrease in our active inventory of about 13.2% here in Hampton Road, down to 3,297 homes. Now, this time last year, we had 4,000 homes in the marketplace. So this is where I still say with the interest rates may not make it seems like you can afford what you want to afford in a home, but it's not helping the inventory either because sellers are still staying put. But also, we are still seeing an increase in new listings, but the new listings that's come on the marketplace that's in the right condition, the right price point, asking for the right things in the homes, we're still seeing those come off the market ASAP. That is what we're seeing. And I think this is a great indication of that. And you still see that we're down 25% from last month on what months of supply of inventory is across the complete Hampton Roads area. Now, you'll see that that's still down by 14.9% from what we was at this time last year to 2.3 months of inventory. Okay. So that's our overview. That's our overview of what we actually have in the marketplace right now. And I want to come back and I want to detail some of these things out for you, but I really want to talk to you about what you'll need to see in the price points. I think that is an interesting insight to actually pay attention to as well. So I'm going to actually bring up settled sales for February, and we're going to dive into this a little bit deeper here because I want to kind of give you a little bit more of an intricate detail into what I see happening out in the marketplace and what we're seeing. So we're going to talk about price distribution a bit here just for a second. Okay, so let's head back over and let's talk about settled sales here, that you'll see that the 1,721 settled sales that we saw across Hampton Roads last period in the month of February. You saw, like we talked about before, it was a 15.6% change from the year prior. From the month prior, and then the year prior, we're down 4.9% from what we saw in February 2023. But the major thing to kind of pay attention to here, as they spell out the price points here, all the way up to $1.5 million. That's what we actually seen the most. Anything greater than $1.5 million, we had 10 transactions that way. Okay, then you'll see that we had 12 transactions from $1 million to 1.49. And then the 750 to 999,000, we had 38 transactions in this period. Now, the 600 to 750,000, we had 100 transactions. And then 500 to 599, 106. The 400 to 499, we had 221 transactions. Now, the price points that I wanted you to pay attention to was the 200 to 399,000. We had over together a combination of 1,021 transactions. This made up over 53% of the total transactions in our marketplace in February. Now, I think this is important. And the reason why I think this is important is because typically lenders, right? If I'm talking about this from the perspective of a lender typically will always ask an individual client, what do they actually want their payments to be at? And when the clients talk about what they want to afford, the affordability versus what's actually in the marketplace available to them usually don't line up. I typically run into where we're educating clients where you may have to go up in price a bit to get all the things that you want inclusively into what you want or you desire in a home. And that's not because we're trying to get you to that price point because that makes it better for us at the end of the day. That's not what it is at all in my perspective and what I do with my clients and how I educate my clients. What I look for in a client to understand is that these are some of the highly demanding price points to actually be in right now. That $200,000 to $399,000 price point. I believe if you are in that price point and you are looking for a transaction to take place for you where you can buy a home in that price point, you're going to be dealing with 2 to 3 offers on that home. You may even have to bring your own closing costs to that home. You more likely won't be able to get seller concessions. And if it's priced appropriately and it's in a great neighborhood, it's not lasting past the first weekend that it's on the market. That is what we've been experiencing in this marketplace. And I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. I think, like I said, in the month of March, I do believe that we are going to still see those price points be highly demanding. And as long as the interest rate stays at this level that it's at currently, it's going to stay that trend. Now, I believe the 400 to 600,000 price point value got unlocked when we got down to 5.9%, 5.8% in certain cases, because that affordability that people had at 700, it allowed for them to sneak into the next price levels if they was on the cusp of it already, and they was able to buy homes. So that's why we see these prices actually kind of increase a little bit. These price points have a lot of transactions happening at them in certain levels as well too. So that is something to take into consideration as we talk about this more. I think price distribution is a great way to understand where the marketplace is at in its real time. Okay. So like if you want to just look at this on a scale where we're talking about what does that really look like we've been at this level before. Like we've touched this level and increased above this level on settled sales so many times over the period, but we are trending. You'll see this trend where the bottoming happened and then we came back down to levels that we haven't seen since 2012. But now we're starting to trend back up, and now we're kind of back comfortably back where we were in 2020, almost in Hampton Roads as well. Like in 2020, we had, let's see here. We had in February 2020, we had about 1,700, or January, we had about 1,700 transactions in 2020 as well. So we are right back at that level. We may creep back into the twos on settled sales in a month or so. Maybe like May timeframe, we may see 2,000 transactions take place in the month of June for when we look in July 2024. So we'll see where we land at there. Now, one of the things that we need to talk about, just kind of show you a little bit more of a breakout, I want to talk about, what we see in some of our major cities right here. Okay. If you're unaware of what is a major city in Hampton Roads, we're talking about Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Suffolk. And the reason why I bring Suffolk in there, because that's where most of the new development is happening there right now, where land is still available for growing out in Suffolk. Now, when we talk about Hampton, Newport News, Portsmouth, you have those areas as well too. But what I want to call out in this video, I want to talk to you exclusively about Virginia Beach, Norfolk, because that's where most of our military communities are, where they really be assigned to stations at, because that's where most of our military bases are. We do have some, and we have a few over on the peninsula side, over in the Hampton, Newport News area. But then we're going to talk about Chesapeake, because that's where a lot of demand is in our community as well too, because of education for their children, where people who want to afford homes in certain cases can't afford the home and tuition for private school. So we'll talk about that here a little bit, and then we'll talk about Suffolk, because I want to talk about just where you're seeing where everyone's being pushed to, where land is premium and you want to live in a subdivision type of community, whether you're coming from like down south or something like that. That's where you're going to find that as well too. So we'll talk about that here in pricing, and then we'll wrap this up and we'll go from there. Okay. So we're going to, what I'm going to actually show you as I do this. Okay. So we're going to go back into our market review, and we're going to spell out we're going to take land out of this. And for this, I'm going to take out multifamily as well. If you want me to do a segment on multifamily, definitely leave that down in the comments down below. If you would like to see me talk about multifamily a little bit more in Hampton Roads area, to kind of give you an update on that idea of it, I'd be interested in doing that with you. But let's just keep it to, residential and detached and attached properties. Okay. And then we're going to actually just go ahead over here, and we're going to deselect all these. And we're going to start with Virginia Beach, okay? Kind of give you an idea of what's going on out in Virginia Beach, because one of the first things I hear from clients who want to move to the area is that they want to be in Virginia Beach. So let's just talk about it, because that's one of the highly demanding areas that we have. So in Virginia Beach, you'll see that price came down about 3.9%, okay, on the median sales price. over the month over month, but it's still up 7.6% year over year. Okay. That tells you that it's very pricey in Virginia Beach out there in the median area. Okay. But then you will see settled sales is up 27% month over month, but down 3.7% for Virginia Beach, that means a lot of activity is going on out there. Now, the median days on market for the whole entire Hampton Roads was 18 days, but we're at 13 days specifically on median days for Virginia Beach. Okay. Now, you still see each home in Virginia Beach is getting a little bit above list price. Okay. Now, what this signals to me when it's above list price, that there's a lot more competition in the marketplace there, because the motivation is higher to get into this home. So with that being the case, when it's above that 100% threshold, to me, that tells me that there was a lot more competition in this marketplace, specifically in Virginia Beach, in comparison to the rest of Hampton Roads. And that's why it's above the 100%. Okay. So that is a great tool for sellers to understand, is that, if your home is in the best conditions or the right conditions and it's priced appropriately, you can get a lot of demand. As a matter of fact, I'll tell a story right now. As we talk about this a bit more, is that when in January, I'm working with a buyer. She's finally under contract. We actually starting her process this week, but we closed on that home already. We closed on her home. But in January, this buyer was looking for a home in Virginia Beach. We walked into this house. It was like vintage. It was like still stuck in the 60s. Okay. And it has nice land, square footage, a lot of things going well for itself. And it had been on the market like 18, 19 days. So my buyer was like, hey, I'm interested in this property. Well, literally, a home sitting on the market 18 days in this marketplace is almost like, hey, you can walk in and kind of demand some of the things that you want because the seller is trying to offload this property. But to me, this was the signal to me that the marketplace was about to change in Hampton Roads. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because when I went to go write this offer, I reached out to the agent. The agent had received 4 offers the night before. 4 offers. Now, 17 days before that, no one had interest in this house. But on the 18th day, when the interest rates changed, values changed, people had more money to use, this all changed. And so now my buyer was competing against 4 other buyers for this same property that had no upgrades, that was still stuck in the 60s, that was going to need work. And it came in. We didn't wind up with the house, but it came in over asking, no seller concessions, no home inspection for this home. On the 19th day, 17 days before that, no one wanted it. The 18th day, 4 offers showed up when my buyer wanted to put an offer in. On the 19th day, they accepted the offer with no contingencies, no contingencies, over ask, and no seller concessions. That's when we saw the market drastically change in January. So that leads me to say this here. That's why I think this average list price received is a great indicator to let you know what type of competition that you're dealing with in that specific marketplace. Okay. So now median sold actually came down here by 0.2%, which is not a big deal in this marketplace. Okay. But that's month over month, but it's still up 6.9% year over year from 202 to 216. So then you'll see you had 534 new listings, which was up 14% month over month. But then the inventory went down by 3.6% month over month. And we only have 1.4 months worth of supply in Virginia Beach. Okay. So, and that's down almost 25%. Now, let's talk about the other heartbeat here, Norfolk. Okay. Well, a lot of people want to live closer to the military bases, have a steadier commute. And we'll talk about pricing here, where you'll see it's down 335,000 is what it's down to right now, month over month, down 1.6%, but still up 4.7% from 320,000 a year ago. Okay, now 589,000 sales, which is up 16.9%. You'll see the median days on market 37.5% down. Remember, the Hampton Roads area altogether is 18 days median days on market, Virginia, Norfolk had a 37% decrease in median days on market at 15 days. So they're very competitive out there right now. And you're seeing that it's getting a little bit over list price. So once again, if all the things meet in that trinity that I talk about, where if it's priced right, it's in a great location, and it's in great condition, these houses are not lasting, and this is another indication of that. Okay, now in Norfolk, I like to talk about that. You got to understand that with clients, I like to talk about, if you're purchasing, you got to know that you're getting something that's going to be a little bit older, but it may be modern on the inside, where it may have been flipped, may have been upgraded, whatever the case, but the exterior may be still stuck in the 1800s, 1900s. It's just one of those things where when you live in one of the oldest cities in history on record, that you could end up with a house like that, more of historical value. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. Then you'll see the median sold per square foot is up to 3.1% month over month and over 7.6% year over year, which it goes from $198 in February last year to $213 now. Okay, now you will see they had 810 listings. That was up 2.1%. And then they have an active inventory about 895, which means they have about 1.5 months of inventory left in Norfolk available right now, which is down 23%, almost in comparison to Virginia Beach. Now, let's head on over to you know what? Let's do that again, because I didn't take out Virginia Beach. So that number's a little bit skewed. Let's look at those numbers again. All right, so you'll see Norfolk is actually 297. That's better. I thought that was a little high as well. But looking at Norfolk, 297, 200 in settled sales, 18 days median days on market. Now, this is more accurate. This is the streamline of what the basis of the marketplace should be in Norfolk. And then you'll see 99.6% is what is actually the value here. So a little bit less than actual full list price in a lot of cases. And you'll still see that median sold price is $199. It's still up 3.4% month over month, and it's up 4.5% year over year from 190. Okay, now the listings, 276 listings was new, 358 is active inventory, and that only leaves about 1.8 months worth of supply in Norfolk. Okay, which is the 19% decrease, about almost 20%. Now, let's make sure I deselect Norfolk in this one, and then let's head over to Chesapeake. Okay, so look at Chesapeake here, which is one of our major demanding cities that a lot of people want to move to outside of Virginia Beach. So you have $348,000 is the median sales price, $348,250, up 2.5%, and down 3.3% year over year. Okay, from 360. Now, the settled sales is up 20% to 224 settled sales. Median days on market is down 46.9% to 17 days. Now, in January, this thing was sitting up at 32 days, and now we're starting to see money pump back into buying homes off the market in Chesapeake, getting slightly over that list price as well, which is a great indication of competition. $200 median square foot sold per square foot, which is up 5.6% year over year from 189 to 200. You'll see the new listings, 320 new listings, active inventory 391, and down almost 29%, almost 30% to 1.7 months of supply left in Chesapeake at the current inventory level. Okay, now Chesapeake has been kind of where we did a lot of deals at in the last month as well. We done about 4 transactions in Chesapeake in the last month, and I will tell you, every single one of them was very competitive. I was on the list side and on the buy side of both. So I sold and I actually helped buy homes in Chesapeake in the last month. And I will tell you, every single one of them had multiple offers. I will tell you, every single one of them was quite competitive. And every single one of them went over asking, or at least at asking price. Okay, so I think that market is on fire right now, and I don't know if it's going to. I think that marketplace is going to do well during the summer if inventory comes available. I think if you are preparing yourself to actually go on the market this summer. You should be doing the work now. You should be working with an agent now. If you don't have an agent, you definitely can reach out to us. Our information is down in the link and down in the description below. We'll leave it as the pinned comment as well. But I really think that right now you are in a position where if you are looking to take advantage of the spring PCS market that we talked about at the beginning of this video, this is it now. You want to be prepared. You want to get into the marketplace now, and you want to start setting yourself up. So you need to have that seller consult with your listing agent. If you're going to interview multiple agents, you want to get started on that now. We want to be able to start putting the groundwork in, because getting things right and putting things where they need to be are going to be essential for you to capitalize in that Chesapeake market. So if you are a seller in the Chesapeake market, please start working on that now. If you are a buyer, you definitely want to start understanding what the marketplace looks like and understanding the urgency that you're going to have to move with if you want a house that you want to see in that marketplace as well. It's going to take a lot of effort to make all these things, key parts, moving together to make sure things work out the way that you want them to. Okay, so let's talk about Suffolk. Okay, and we'll close out with Suffolk. I'm not going to talk about Portsmouth, not going to talk about Hampton, I'm not going to talk about Newport News. If you want to see me talk about those in detail, leave them down below that you're watching from those areas, because I don't believe that y'all are watching from those areas. But if y'all are watching and looking to move into those areas, definitely let me know, and we will, broaden our reach out to that part of town as well too. But I don't think that y'all are watching from that area, so I'm more interested to know how many viewers that we actually have looking to move into that area or viewing us from that area. Okay, so let's talk about Suffolk here. And the reason why we want to talk about Suffolk is because Suffolk, to me, is one of those areas where buyers don't want to move to, but buyers also want to have land. They want to live they want to have a community feel. They don't want to feel like their house is out of the 1900s, or they don't want their house to be out of the early 1800s, or they want a more modernized house, a newer house, and all those things are in Suffolk. Okay, so I think that's where you have to kind of like understand the market a bit here. So if you're looking for that, you have to understand where you're going to have to be. Now, I will say that Virginia has done a good job with making an expressway both ways. Originally, you had to either go through the Midtown Tunnel to get to Norfolk if you worked on Norfolk Naval Station. If you was going to Virginia Beach, you would have to take the Portsmouth Tunnel and that would be an express toll as well if you wanted to get that way. But now you have the option of just going down 64 completely to Norfolk or Virginia Beach or Chesapeake on the expressway. And if you want to get on the expressway, you just pay the toll and you just go on about your business. And it doesn't require you being a two-passenger car, two people in the vehicle, or any of that sort of getting the HOV. You just get in there, you have an easy pass, and you go. And that probably could shave off about 10 minutes of your commute time. So I think that's what a lot of people had a problem with moving to Suffolk, was that the expressway was not, something that they could take advantage of, or they didn't want to be locked in and just paying a toll all the time. But now you have options, so you can figure out how you want to, live your life and get from point A to point B. But let's just talk about what we're looking at here in the values that's out here in Suffolk. Okay, so median sold price, sales price, $386,495. That's up 3.1% month over month and up 3.6% year over year. So we was at 373,000 in February of last year, and look where we're at now. Okay. Now, settled sales, 124 transactions. That's up 6.4%. 6.9%, up 0.8% year over year. You see the median days on market has dropped from 35 days to 18 days on market. I mean, when we came out of that rush from the Christmas, this is what we've seen this actually pick up at. Okay. Now, under list price, though, 99.4%. So that means that there's not a lot of competition going on out in Suffolk right now, where you may be able to get you a good deal, or at least not have to go over asking, or you may even be able to get seller concessions in certain cases. So this is a good marketplace right now over in Suffolk. Now, the median sold price per square foot is $191, up 2.1%, up 7.9% year over year. Okay, almost 8%. Last year we was at 177. Right now in February, $191 per square foot. New listings, 230 new listings, active inventory, 342 active inventory. That leaves about 2.8 months worth of supply out in Suffolk at the point in time right now. So I think based on what we talked about here, what do you think about is one of the best competing marketplaces in Hampton Roads right now out of the four that we talked about? If you think Hampton, Newport News, or Portsmouth is one of those, definitely let me know as well. But I think that we have seen where the marketplace is shifting and where the money is at and where it's actually being spent at and where the demand is at. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about the marketplace. This has been your February 2024 market review. If you're a seller, we're looking to help you list your home any day of the week. We always have our pinpoint listing for you template that we like to walk you through and show you how we can guide you to getting the most money out of your home at the fastest rate that possible. And then if you are a buyer, if you're looking to actually buy in the 757, definitely reach out to me. We will definitely hook you up and take care of you as well too. We are always engaged in helping our military, active duty service members, and veteran community purchase homes, generate that wealth, and start living your life the best way you possibly can each and every day of the week. Our goal this year is to get to 20 veterans into homes as home buyers or helping them sell their home to help generate more wealth for accumulating and upgrading property or even downsizing if they want to. So we already have 6 under contract or 6 sold already or closed on. We're looking to bring in 14 more this year. So if you want to help us out with that, we always accept referrals. We're never too busy for them. Definitely we'll leave a link down there for referrals as well too. And I hope that you have a great day, a beautiful, blessed week, and we'll see you in the next video. Y'all stay safe. Peace.